So the truth is, everything we know is wrong. We had been in a situation for a long time where we just kept telling the same story over and over and over again, but trading the role of the victim and the oppressor. So we are bridling up against this constraining of our individual will, screaming, I'm gonna get what I want. You're not gonna make me do something different. You're not gonna make me. And we are so busy resisting being forced to turn that we are not using our eyes to see that we're being turned in a direction we want to go. I could have been a lesbian. What was I thinking? I could have been a lesbian. That would be fine. I would have been a magnificent lesbian. But I was a little bit out of my mind. Truth is, we make our God stories. And it is not only not heresy to say so, it is insanity to not say so. If we lose sight of the fact that we have made our gods, in whose image we then make ourselves, then we have forfeited the game. It's a loosely constructed mental image within which I can just not endlessly spool and say, yeah, but I don't have a construct for that. You just make a construct for that. It's okay. We know that none of this is absolute, but in order to operate within this simulation, we need to own it, to fully enter into the enjoyment of the story while remembering that it is not true. That's theater. Not entirely batshit crazy, just a little bent, maybe quite sincerely twisted, but with truly good intentions, filling up the dark dimensions. Wow, see, there's this voice screaming in the back of my ear, that old story voice saying, how dare you, rah, 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 rah. It's like this angry little barking dog in the background. Do you hear it in the back of your mind? This angry little barking dog who is so convinced that it is powerless, that it is power mad, and becomes aggressively defensive. Are you here to tell me that I'm right on? Are you here to tell me I'm getting it? Yeah. It's the dog that feels powerless that is aggressively defensive. That's that second Old Testament God. See, the first God, Elohim, the Most High. It's a plural. We, let us, make some people like us, and we'll have a party. That's Elohim. I like those guys. 'Cause what you hide in the basement doesn't stop living. It just gets really weird. What you're afraid of is always gonna find you. The pathway is your fear. Long as you're scared of me, I will control you. Even though I'm locked in here. Especially 'cause I'm locked in here. Thing is, there's a lot of resistance to the Antichrist spirit that has taken over the church because they've been so afraid of the devil, they've become the devil. You know, it's just like everybody else. It's not a special case, it's just the same thing, different players. Trade the scripts. The only way out of that is we cannot turn the church and its religious demonization into the new devil. Then we just tell the same story again, only, you know, the bad guys switch scripts. So Harry Potter gets it right. The way that Harry defeats Voldemort is by allowing the piece of his enemy that lived within him to be destroyed. Nobody wants to struggle with us. We just don't know how to let go. All the bad guys ultimately want freedom from us as much as we want freedom from them. Get me out of here, gotta get me out of here. The fear is leading both partners in the adversarial dance to continue putting resistance into the system. The energy keeps going into the conflict, and it just gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. When these bonds mutually release, there is a blossoming of power. That when one is destroyed, everything gets all wonky because you belong together. You are, in fact, one thing. You know, it's a mirror of sorts. So it's a question not of identifying that something bad is happening here. Duh. But at this point, it's a question of identifying the best possible way to harness the energy that's put into that system. Because this is a whole lot of potential energy in this situation we've just been through. So if we can transmute that into an energy source for the next leg of the journey, then we will have made the maximum use out of that experience. Then we will have distilled the glorious essence of the experience, you see. It's not that we pretend there weren't things we didn't like that went wrong. It's that we transform them into something else because we're just that good. Gotta get me out of here. You got to get me out of here.